Good afternoon, guys. My name is Matt Jones, and I'm from Pinnacle Angling. Today's guest is a very important person in sea fishing, as I see it today, because the slogan "There's more to fishing and catching." Honestly, I think there's no truer sentiment because the the mental health benefits and the fitness benefits of going out to fishing definitely are definitely part of the reason why I go myself. So Mr. Dave Williams, who has embraced there's motor fishing, motor catching and fishing
What the
statement.
fishing and catching, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
motor
that
fishing
was
and catching.
Matt, that was just a disclaimer to make sure that, if we took people out and they didn't catch anything, they wouldn't complain.
Yeah, it's always a winner, but obviously it really does play into fishing for me because the more I especially the older I get now. Before it just used to be I had to go there and I was out just trying to catch fish and thing. But the amount of sessions I go on now where I just go for a few hours on my own and there's nothing else other than what I'm doing. And I think it's the sound of the water. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it just calms the mind, like.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things, and you hit on one of them there. One of the things they say is good for your mental health is white noise. And
Yes.
what better than the sea and pebbles just crashing
Yeah,
about? It's great.
yeah. There is no better sound, you go Chesil. Chesil's a perfect example of it,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
Or the Nap as well. The Nap is a really good example of it. The water through the pebbles and just the way it makes like you say, the white noise, it just calms you down, like, innit? So obviously you're an experienced angler yourself. Where where did fishing start for you?
All right, so I don't drop the same ball that Craig did on Spooligan. All right,
Yeah.
John Wilson started it for me, and
Okay.
he's not alive anymore.
Yeah.
uh, Craig sort of stuck his foot in it, but yeah, watching John Wilson goes fishing. I must have been probably 6, 7 years of age, watching that with my dad. And like I said to Craig, I just loved no matter what he was catching, even when he lost a fish, he'd just be laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Like it was, and I am like that when I go fishing. As soon as I get a fish on, yay,
Yeah.
and laughing about it and enjoying it. And I think that's what got me. And then, my dad started taking me down Barry Docks. And you speak to any of the guys my age from Barry, we probably all started in Barry Docks. You
Yeah.
know, £2 a ragworm from Reg Aspinall's, and you'd spend the day down there, catch 40 odd fish, 15 different species, and
Species. Yeah.
it was
That's
brilliant.
yeah, I think I think there's a bit of local warfare going on at the moment with the docks in it. I think there's local either
Yeah,
local council or
I
people.
mean, it's never been the same, since they tipped the molasses in there back in the 90s.
Mm.
The whole thing died. I mean, it's come back. You see people catch some nice fish here and there, but it's not like the fishing as it was.
Yeah,
Um, it used to be like, there's a place I go to Weymouth a lot. I take my granddaughter down the Stone Pier and three hooker, drop it down the side, that much
yeah,
wrap on it, and straight away, bang, 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 double fish. You know,
yeah,
loves it, and that's what the dock was like. But it's not that type of fishing anymore down there. It just shows how long it takes for something to recover afterwards.
yeah. Have you seen the picture of Matthew Erin's
The conger,
conger? Monster, absolute
yeah,
monster.
old Percy, yeah,
Yeah. When you I think it puts into perspective. You don't real I, I think some people don't realize what is actually in our water.
yeah.
And you don't have to
Oh,
go
look,
very deep either.
I've had it fishing Ogmore Beach in the summer, and again, it's something I was going to talk about later. One of the places I like to go is Ogmore Beach because could pretty much fish at any state of tide, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if I just got an hour or two to myself, that's where I'll go. And I've been there, and had people come over and start swimming near where I am, even though I've gone and set up
yeah,
miles away from the swimmers, and then pull out a
yeah. It's
smooth
always the
hound
same.
and put that back in the water, and they're gone.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. They see that fin, don't they? And
Straight out the water, yeah.
straight away, shark. Yeah. So obviously, what you do in the world, I'm a big fan of. As you can see from the badge on your breast, Real Minds is, I think, is, and I said this to Di Llewellyn in the first episode. Like I'm very guilty sometimes of being taking things for granted, just being able to jump in the car,
Yeah,
chuck everything in, disappear for 8 hours. My missus is very she's very understanding with things like that. So
a fish
I,
widow, mate. They gotta be.
yeah, oh yeah. She used to be a golf widow, but now she's a fish widow. Fish widow. So,
um,
but
Mate,
I take it for
I was
granted.
going to pick up on. I watched the
Yeah,
first episode with Di, and that was part of the reasoning behind starting Real Minds. Is
yeah,
I didn't understand how privileged, how lucky I was to just go get in the car, go fishing for a couple of hours,
yeah,
and then we had COVID and the lockdowns,
hmm,
and suddenly I had that privilege taken away.
yeah,
Suddenly I couldn't just pop out for a couple of hours. And that was really sort of where it all started. It was bothering me. I want to get out.
yeah,
As sort of lockdown ended, and you could see other people who couldn't get out, perhaps because they didn't feel confident going out. Didn't have the equipment, didn't have the
yeah,
knowledge, or didn't have anyone to go with, and all those different things. And you'd see posts online. You used to see them on the foreshore all the time. Still do. Oh, I've had an injury, or I'm not in as good health as I used to be.
yeah,
Looking for someone to go fishing with, or where's a good place to go for someone like me. And I love it now that people straight away put Real Minds, like message
yeah,
Real Minds. So I see
yeah,
it happen all the time,
yeah,
and I love that. Not because they're promoting us, because that was the intention at the beginning.
yeah,
To give people that opportunity, and to give them the privilege that people like me and you got. That can,
yeah.
I'm
Just
fit and healthy. I can drive. I know what I'm doing. I've got the kit,
yeah,
And I don't think you realize, like you said, you take it for granted until it's taken
yeah,
away.
100%. It's it is, and like uh, where I live, I I can't remember his name. I met him when I was stewarding and in the first open you did the competition you did on the nap. He was I can't remember his name, but his shoes broke, and Paul
Barry,
went and got him. Barry, yeah,
Barry, yeah,
and
he lives at
I
the.
seen
He's
him a
near
couple
you,
of
Tom.
times.
Yeah,
He lives at the bottom. I've seen him
yeah,
waiting down by the car park, and yeah, he's a character of Barry when he.
oh yeah,
But it's great to see that how many how many people are now able to go out and fish. And like you say, it's not just not knowing. It's not having some. So with some people, they might not have the confidence as well
yeah. That's a massive
because
thing.
yeah,
I've done it myself.
yeah,
That looks like a nice place to go fishing, but not sure if I should go there on my own. And
yes,
like when I stopped fishing for a while. When I moved up to the valleys from Barry, kind of stopped going. It was a bit far
yeah,
to go. I had a young family. I played football on a Saturday, so I couldn't
yeah.
take too
It's
much with my
can't do it all, can it? Yeah, yeah, can't do it
she's
all.
understanding, but maybe not that understanding.
Yeah.
So I had to be careful, and I stopped for a long while. I forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah, just the privilege of being able to
Yeah,
go
and
fishing in it.
but I think getting back into it was a difficult thing. Is going. Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know where to go.
yeah,
And
the anxiety of
yeah, and when my kids stopped wanting to come with me, I'd go on my own a lot. And the place I'd
yeah,
go more than anywhere else would be like Nabrock or Porthcawl Wall. But mainly because I
yeah,
knew there would be other people there. So, and I'm not going to fall in.
yeah,
I knew I was safe. And that was a big aspect for it for me.
yeah.
It'd be very rare I'd go somewhere, in the night that was, potentially dangerous
Dangerous.
on
Yeah,
my own.
yeah.
Because there's no one there, is there, to to raise the alarm?
No, yeah, absolutely. And before I started my match fishing, about 10 years ago, I was always, I was always a puff call pier. That's where I would go. Come Friday. I'd jump in the car straight after work and I'd gone. I'd be down there and I just fish the pier. Um, Mainly because it was always where I used to fish when I was younger. Uh, I knew I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do. And it was always somewhere I felt comfortable. And I think like with what you do with the I was just looking on your Facebook page now before we come on, and your October, your February dates, different weeks you've got different venues,
Reading,
and
yeah.
yeah, and I think what it will do as well, when people are at these venues as a collective, they gain the knowledge and the confidence, and then one day you never know, you might see somebody jumping on the train, or you might just to go fishing in that area on their own,
Yeah, and do you
and
know what?
it's
We've
a really
seen
good
that
way
a
for
lot.
people to learn.
That is again, that's one of the success stories. I said early on in this, we didn't want to create patients, we wanted to create lives.
Yes,
We didn't want people
absolutely.
forever to go, we got to rely on real minds. That's how
Yeah,
we go fishing. We're there to be an introduction, to go
yeah,
like, here we are, look, get the confidence, and we're not the best anglers in the world, but we know what we're doing, and
yeah, absolutely,
teaching people the
absolutely.
basics and getting them out there, and the hope is that they meet other people in the group that they can then go out fishing with, and we've had a few like that. We've had a
Yeah,
couple of guys who are like new to angling, and but they drive, and they've met people who are experienced but don't drive, and they live in a similar
yeah,
area, and they share the fuel money and they go off fishing together.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I think that's like I said, one of our big wins.
Yeah. So you were your rig making sessions. I see. Is there more to is there more rigs being made, or is that cups of tea, or is it cakes?
Cake eating contests.
Cakes, yeah.
Like
I
Paul's in
see. I
that
see the
one
post.
now. Mind he's
I can
taken
imagine he's
over from
smashing it.
me. Yeah.
How is he? How's Paul? I haven't spoke to him for a
Yeah,
while.
he's good. He's like he likes to keep himself busy.
Yeah,
And he's. Do you know what? You want to see that office? Like I'm guilty of like being one of these people who don't do the mundane things. Something. Oh yeah, we'll just chuck it in the corner over there. He's
yeah, yeah.
cleaned
Just
that place up. He's put up shelves and all sorts. It looks amazing in there. He's put a lot
yeah,
of work into making that community hub really, really nice.
yeah.
But the rig making sessions kind of happened by accident. Um,
Hmm.
when we did the first project, we'd got to sort of probably December, January, and of course, it's like most of the venues we take people are high water, clean ground, and,
Yes.
and those
Yeah.
type of venues, the fishing really dries up, doesn't it?
Hmm.
It's not the
Very.
best. So what happened? A lot of the guys were getting a bit fed up, and it was really cold. Some of the older fellas were like, "Oh, it's too cold for us. Can we do
Yeah.
something indoors?" Okay, yeah, maybe we could. So we started renting out the underneath the museum in Ponty.
Okay.
It's just across the road there, and it just started off like 5 or 6 guys coming
Yeah.
along once. I think we did it once a month. You know, they come in, we get a few cakes, have a cup of tea, and show them how to make a few rigs, tie some knots. It was really, really basic. It was, and we tried to keep
Yeah.
it as well. Still to this day, most of the time, it's like, look, come in, make some pulley rigs, make some flappers. That's it. And we just show them how to do it. Um, but it did save me a massive pain because it was getting to the stage where go out fishing once a week with them. And then in the
Yeah.
week, you'd have to make up all the rigs for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you start losing them,
Yeah.
it's a nightmare. So it was good because it took that burden off me, and they were
Yeah.
all willing to do it themselves. And I think that's important. Again, it's another barrier to participation there. The
Yeah.
lack of knowledge
Absolutely.
and skills, lack of transport, lack of funds. They're all the
Yeah.
things that stop you from taking part. So I think it's been good that the guys have been able to do that. And in the centre in Ponty now, I mean, you come up and give me a little demo on
Yeah.
how to do a basic
On the rod, yeah, yeah,
wrap and clean. So I spent about 4 hours on YouTube and had a few goes myself.
yeah,
Got the basics of it. So showing the guys, if you want to whip an iron, can't do any decoration on it or anything. It's basic
hmm
whip and resin afterwards. But
yeah,
they love it. They come in and they're taking the eyes off old rods or the damaged
and
eyes and then reusing them on another one that's missing and
yeah,
then doing their own repair. And Paul's shown a few of them how to service their reels properly. And he loves
yeah,
doing that. Paul's an engineer, so he loves taking it apart and showing them exactly how it's done. So I think it's
yeah.
nice we got those skills in the team. Like I said, it's all just very basic stuff though, just to enable you to take part.
Again, basic for us, and then new
Yeah, yeah.
information, and it's
Don't run before you can walk in it, and
yeah, yeah,
I think Di probably said it last week. Fishing's really simple. It
absolutely.
doesn't have to
I
be
honestly,
complicated.
I'm so basic with my fishing is
Yeah.
unreal.
I,
Honestly,
I, I say to the
I'm
boys all the time, fresh bait, sharp hooks, good knots.
yeah,
That's it.
100%.
That's
Yeah,
that's 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 most of what you need.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's very simple.
So obviously you've got the hub in Ponty.
Yeah.
Um, you've got I see. I know you also do you do sessions in Barry as well.
Yes, we do that at community centre once a fortnight, and again, we've got people from all over. And the reason we got the hub in Ponty was we were doing it at a community centre the same as Barry, but we were
Yeah,
also paying for a lockup to keep all the gear
yeah,
and all the donations we'd been given, and they were just sitting there. We'd go pick it up for a session, put it back. It just worked out cheaper in the end to rent our own place that we would be in then whenever we wanted.
yeah,
And we've actually managed to get all of most of the donations out the door now and given to people.
yeah.
So that's been brilliant.
Being back into the world and actually
Yeah, yeah.
being what they were designed to be, like in people's hands,
And,
helping them catch.
and look,
Innit?
that's it. You've got guys starting out. If going beach casting in the channel, as long as it can
Yeah.
throw 6 ounce, that's all you
hmm
need, and
Absolutely.
that's it. So we've, as if anything works, it goes back out. Someone uses it, rod stands, boxes. God, we still got a box of reels, massive
Yeah.
box of reels. And anytime anyone says, oh, I've had it this week. One of the lads, Byron, he's starting to take his grandson fishing, but he wants a couple of reels for him. So just
Mm.
you can have. I've got a couple in the box. You can have,
Yeah.
because they'll do for now to start with.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's important as well. I think a lot of people they go, I'm going to start fishing, and they want to go and get a T1000, and a
£700.
casting special, and
Yeah. Gra-
don't go and do
well,
that.
the old saying used to be a grand on a stand, didn't it? We'll tell you forward and your wheels. I think it's surpassed that now. I think some of it these days
Yeah,
is a bit mental, isn't it? But yeah, so obviously people being your main driver. Um, have you always been? I'm assuming you've always kind of been a people-driven person. Like
yeah.
wherever you,
So my background is like training and education. So I used to work with secondary school kids who weren't allowed in school anymore. Going,
yeah,
I'd have them sent to me. I'd
banking
take
off.
them out and we'd do different activities. So I've always been, involved with people, helping them progress.
Yeah,
Training and teaching. So by trade, I'm a qualified teacher trainer. So that's my background. It's always
yeah.
been that since I was like 20. So
I I think that comes across as well with how good you've been able to how good you've been able to grow real minds. Not just how good, but how fast it's grown as well.
uh,
Because sometimes things like crawl, but real minds from when I first year of it has just has exploded, hasn't it? It's
It has, and it's grown faster than you could imagine. Like the faster than I ever thought it would.
yeah,
Like when I come up with the idea, I'd said to my wife at the time, I went, "This could be absolutely massive. Like this could be like the type of thing that's in every town in the country, right?
yes,
It's like there's no limit to how big it could be."
yeah,
But like I never thought within a couple of years, we're only like 2.5 years in, that it would
hmm
be as big and as well recognized as it is.
yeah,
It's a funny story, always annoys my wife, but we'd gone up to North Wales for the weekend. I'd gone fishing on Landudno Pier, and these two guys from Liverpool recognised me, and she was like, "Oh."
yeah.
I said, "To be fair, it's the first time that's happened." She went, "Oh, it won't happen again." And we went in a shop in Landudno then, and the guy in there went, "Oh, you're the guy from Real Minds."
Goodness.
It's happened twice in like an
Oh,
hour
goodness.
in North
Yeah,
Wales. But
yeah.
even on the weekend, like I went down west, and some guys come over. They were like, "Oh, we saw the van in the in the car
In the
park.
car park.
You want to
Yeah,
come over and say hello and that." And I think it's really nice that the message has got out there that far. And I
hmm
know I've spoken to a few people who are looking to start the same thing as well. So
yeah,
and I suppose that's something. I've given them all the advice I could, and the things that we went through, and you know, I think if anything, that I'd love that to be our legacy. That we inspired other people to do the same thing. That would be brilliant. If these
that will
different
be massive.
charities pop up all over the country, wouldn't that be great?
hmm Absolutely. And I've seen I've seen a few pages. There's Damien Robbins
With the gyms, yeah,
with the gyms, and there was a new one I seen the other day, fishing and mental health.
fishing the
And
mind,
yeah, that's the one, yeah.
fishing.
And somebody put in the comments, well, you do realize there's already something like this, and
Doesn't matter.
I was saying
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. The more the better.
yeah. It's
The more the better.
it's funny when I started Real Minds, I come across somebody else while I was looking for a name who were doing the
Yeah.
same thing, tackling mines.
Mm.
And I've met the guy Dave Lyons who started it, so I think that's a prerequisite. Your name got to be Dave to start one of these.
Yeah.
Um, but he was brilliant and so helpful, and so supportive of what we're doing as well. So, and in many ways, he's really leading the way. Like, he's gone out there, he's had a, a peer reviewed study done through
Yeah.
Anglia Ruskin University on the mental health benefits of fishing,
Mhm.
which for somebody like us is amazing because if we're bidding for funding, we can
Yes,
put it in there. Look,
absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
peer reviewed study
Data. Yeah.
of this saying it works.
Yeah.
And what better backup can you get than that to say that our type of intervention works for people?
Yeah. Without was it there was a saying that they used to it was up on the wall in work before with it, and it was without data, you're just another person with an opinion.
Mm,
So you say when you've got that data to back up your theory, then
absolutely.
when it comes to dealing with the money people who let's be honest, charities for me, charity that's where the money should be going. Like you say, the people who are able to shoulder the burden and look after themselves, they carry on. But if you can help people who can't as well, I think that then shows a good moral compass and
Yeah,
makes you into to what you are like.
yeah, but I'm back like what I said earlier about the creating lives, not patients. That's really
Yes.
we want to create people who can stand on their own 2 feet. We
Yeah.
don't want to have to look after for somebody forever.
No.
That's not what we're about. We want to get people to a place where this can be part of their life. And
Yeah.
like you said, give them the privilege we got.
Yeah.
That's that's
No,
kind of
it's nice.
what we want.
It is nice. So obviously the I seen the end of your um, Real Minds Awards.
Yeah.
It looked like there were some crackers. What was the one Paul one? Did he
A
win
glass
one?
fisherman.
No,
Most planks in a
I,
year. No,
I think it was.
the Above and Beyond the Call of Duty award.
That's the
Um,
one. Yeah.
yeah, I gave a talk recently at a community event, and I said like, what Real Minds is one of these things where the real success stories are the things we can't count. They're
Hmm.
things that aren't measurable. And Paul's a guy who really, really does that. Like, if somebody's car's broken down, he'll go and help them fix their car. He'd do anything for anyone. And
Yeah.
he's really good at that. I called it a million cups of coffee, because sometimes that's all it
Mhm.
takes. Do you want to come and have a cup of coffee?
Yeah. Come and have a
And I
coffee.
think
Yeah.
that's sort of the building blocks of Real Minds, is all those little things we can do. It's not that person started on one of your programs, and we measured how much their mental health improved or how many sessions
Yes.
they attended.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's the little things that you can do for them. The little conversation, and you find out they've got a problem with their car, or
Yeah.
problem with housing, and the amount of phone calls we've dealt with, and that's probably the thing people don't see about Real Minds. The
100%.
going out
Yes.
fishing is the easy bit.
Hmm.
Early days we created a chat group, because I was getting phone calls at like 11, 12 o'clock at night from
Yeah.
participants that needed help, or
Yeah.
were maybe feeling a bit low and needed someone to speak to. So it was
Yeah.
me, and that was something that wasn't sustainable. So we created the chat group, and I don't really get it anymore. The message will go into the chat group. Oh, yeah, anyone up? Anyone awake? And
Yeah.
they'll all have a little natter. Again, a lot of it is loneliness. For some of your
Absolutely.
guys, they
And I think just the reply sometimes for somebody, like you
just know
say, who
someone's
is
listening.
feeling a little bit
Someone else is
lonely.
there. Yeah,
There's
that's all it is.
somebody there, and it's the old saying, the problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like the overwhelming feeling of loneliness, I should imagine, for some people can be quite unbearable. So for what you guys do for the community. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I
cheers.
uh, I think I probably echo a lot of people's opinions of what you guys do is absolutely phenomenal, because
Do you know
we've
what
all
though,
probably
Matthew?
been
Right? There's
touched. Yeah,
you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of other people who have been involved in like helping us and getting us to where we are. Like, firstly, like the volunteers. I
yeah,
mean, they give up their time. And you think a fishing session, even if we're only doing 4 hours plus the travel, that's 6 hours.
6 hours. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's a
The
day,
6 hours
really.
people give out to their family life.
Their time to go and support other people. Sometimes they don't even bring a rod, or they'll just bring one
Yeah.
and have a little mess around. They just spend the whole time helping out. You mentioned Di earlier. Early days, really brilliant in getting our name out there. He had a
Hmm.
big audience and he was sharing our stuff. And there's probably too many to mention. I mean, you've helped us out. You come along
Yeah.
stewarding, give us prizes at Christmas and stuff like that. Gigi's another one. It's done a lot for us, Gareth. Like, me and Gareth were in school together, and when I started back fishing, I was like, "Oh, Barry Doc's crap. Like,
Yeah.
what's happened to it?" He was the first one to say, "Oh, try here or there instead with your kids." These
Yeah.
are better now than Barry Doc.
Yeah.
Um, and nearly all the tackle shops, the ones obviously we use regular, Tony being Ronda Tackle, and
From the tackle. Yeah.
Gary Evans, Steve's Baits in Newport, and
People.
lad up there, Sam Harris, as well. He makes rigs. He gives us donations of rig bits. So when he orders all his
Yeah.
rig bits, he gets extra in, and he chucks them over to us. Damo at the gyms. We wouldn't have
Yeah.
had the comp if it wasn't for him. He'd sort of message
Yeah.
me the idea of doing it, and I was like, okay, sounds like a good
Yeah.
idea. Next minute,
I had a conversation with him
we were doing a comp.
at the venue, like, yeah, and I think it was a really good idea, because it also introduces people to the other side of fishing, the competitive side. It introduces people to the competitive side without um, so much of the pressure of the competitive side, if you
Yeah.
would.
So,
You know.
and that was one thing we wanted to do, So like when I was speaking to the East region this year about making sure we didn't have
Yeah.
a deep clash and all that, one of the things they said was, "Oh, do you want to have pen points?" No, it defeats
No.
the object.
No.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
the point of this is that anyone can come along and fish our comp. 17th of May, if you're listening.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But we want it to be
I'll be
different
there.
with the
I'll be
comps.
there.
You were
Yeah.
there as a steward, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had people then. It didn't matter if you didn't know what to do. All you had to do was catch a fish and shout. And one of us
Yeah.
would come down, weigh it, record it. There you are. Put it back.
Yeah.
And I think that takes away a lot of the anxiety about match fishing for people. And
Yeah.
the other thing was, I suppose, is that we don't have any minimum size. They all counted.
Yeah.
You know,
Did. Yeah.
because you think of some of our guys. A few of them who come fishing with us. What could be more disheartening than going to fish a match? You catch a
Catching a
fish,
fish.
don't count.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I've been there. I've been there. I've
I
been in on Penarth for 3 years and none of them counted. Honestly,
don't think I've
I
ever
was
caught
absolutely
anything up on that.
distraught. Absolutely
Yeah.
distraught. So,
Um,
three questions I plan on asking every guest that comes on. The three Fs, right? So, your favorite venue, your favorite rig, and your favorite bait.
all right. So the easiest question for me to answer really is favorite bait, ragworm.
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect. Yeah,
I've caught everything. I think every species I've ever caught, I've had one on ragworm.
yeah,
Um, so I think
fantastic
for
bait.
me, yeah, if I could only fish with any one bait ever again, it'd be ragworm. Um, a bit boring, like Di said the other day, but like a 2 or 3 hooker, a scratching rig.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, so versatile and so many different versions. I
Yeah.
do a little sort of scratching version with literally just loops. I don't put anything on it. It's a
Mhm.
weight and 3 hooks on a piece of line.
Yeah.
And I use that in all sorts of places. And that's my type of fishing. I think
Hmm.
spinning rod and all
Yeah.
that. Venue. I've had a few favorite venues. Um, I touch on something you said earlier, like favorite place to take the group. I love
Yes.
taking them to like Nabrock or Porth Cornwall, just
Yeah.
because of we're all close together and we can all
Yeah.
have a good chat.
It's
It's
also interacting with other people as well.
yeah, it's that nice thing about the social aspect of it. On my own, I've it's changed over the years. It used to be the nap,
Yeah.
but I've had a bad few years at the nap, so it's been
I don't know.
relegated. Yeah, it's been relegated. But Ogmore, anywhere
Yeah.
around that Ogmore there, whether it's the
Yeah.
beach, slab, the deeps,
Yeah.
I love fishing around there.
Especially this time of year, for beginning months of the year, Ogmore for me, hands down, is
It's one of the
it-
few that we got, yeah, that will fish in the winter. Yeah,
yeah, it is really good. So we've only got a few minutes left on my stream. So if we could finish off just by letting the audience know where can they find Real Minds, where online.
yeah. So I should probably start by saying, look, Real Minds isn't a club. There's no membership because I think that's something people don't realize. They think we're a fishing club, and you
Yeah.
need to be a member. And no, we're open to anyone. If you feel like you would benefit from meeting people or getting outdoors, or you want to learn to fish, you can get in contact. So we've got a website, realminds.org.uk. Yeah. Or just Google Real Minds. We will come up as the first result.
Yeah.
Um, there's a Facebook page. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They're the easiest ways. Or every Wednesday, 2 till 6, pop into the community hub in Pontypridd, bang
Yeah.
in the middle of town there on Market Street. We'll be there. You can come in, have a cup of tea. You haven't even got to do anything. You haven't got to make any rigs. You can sit and have a chat, read a fishing magazine. We've got probably 10,000 copies of Sea Angler
Yeah.
going all the way. Not quite as old as me, but we got them going back to 1980,
Yeah.
um, right the way up to date. So if anyone wants to come in and grab a couple of issues of Sea Angler, they can. Um, and that's it. You can literally come along. It doesn't matter. You can come once and go, oh, it's not for me, or
Yeah.
you can keep coming all the time, and You know, and we have guys like that. We've had one of the lads who turned up to rig making session this week. I haven't seen him in about 6 months, and then
Yeah,
he turned up. You know, and so it's like that. You know, it's a dip in and out service. There's no
yeah.
requirement that you've got to come every week. You know, or pay any subs
There's
or
no
anything
fee to
like that.
pay.
No, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
look. I work really hard to get funding to make sure that this is free to the end user. You
Hmm.
know, the
Yeah,
stuff isn't free; it has to get paid for. But the people using the service don't have to pay for it.
don't have to pay. Yeah.
That's that's what I work so hard to make sure happens.
I think that's a fantastic message. I think what you guys do is absolutely fantastic. You're opening up the world of sea fishing and the benefits of sea fishing to
Yeah,
people who otherwise not be might be able to get out there, you know. So
yeah. And
I
do you know
think
what's mad? Matt? You know, like it's something we've looked at. We started doing last year with some kids sessions.
mhm,
You know, and again, that come about from participants. You know, they
yeah,
come fishing with us. They go, "Oh, I haven't been fishing since," and they would talk
since
about
yeah,
like a good time in their life when they went fishing with like a parent or a grandfather. You know, oh
mm,
yeah, remember that was great. I was like, do you know what? I got loads of good memories like that. Wouldn't it be nice? You see it on to give that message to kids today. You know, and you
yeah,
see it all the time, didn't you, on Facebook? You need more tackle boxes and less Xboxes.
yeah.
You know,
Xboxes,
that
yeah,
sort of thing.
absolutely,
Um, I
absolutely,
think it does them wonders. You know, it's
yeah,
good to get outdoors and explore
absolutely.
what's on our doorstep.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that sentiment. I do like the amount of time I spent outdoors down the river, up the mountain when I was a kid. You know, yeah, literally the only time I would ever be on my games console was when I wasn't allowed out. So you know, I was for, I was under forced house arrest. You know, so but yeah, no, Dave. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with
Oh,
you
thanks
today.
for having me on.
Um, honestly. And hopefully this podcast reaches the right people, and hopefully we can definitely do something again.
Yeah,
What I was thinking, see the this time in May, instead of stewarding, what I was going to do, I was going to enter the comp, but I was going to do a YouTube video of the day, so not a fishing video per se, but more of a
yeah. It's
real minds
interesting
feature,
you
you
say
know?
that. So, I had someone message me recently about maybe doing a video with us for their YouTube
Yeah,
channel. I thought, "Do you know, that's a good idea is to maybe speak to people because I just don't have the time to do it right.
yeah, no,
People have asked
absolutely,
us
yeah,
to do videos. We got a channel, and all we do upload on there is videos other people have done of us.
yeah,
Um, so I that was one thing I was looking at is saying to people, look, if you've got a YouTube channel, you want to come along and see what it's about, and
yeah,
come along, come and film for the day, come and speak to some of the guys. It's one good content from them and great exposure for us. So
absolutely,
by all
absolutely,
means, mate, come
yeah.
do it.
I'll definitely be there doing it in me, definitely. Right, thank you very much, mate. Yeah, honestly, brilliant, brilliant for you stopping by today. Pass on my well wishes to all the boys in the thing, and tell Paul stop going down to the regs. I know when he looks out that window, he was
Mate, do you know what
telling
he
me he's
does?
always
He
down the
messages
dregs.
me. If when I do the post with a picture of the cakes and that, he messages me and he's
Yeah,
drawn circles around the ones he wants. He says,
which make sure they
"Why eat
make
them
sure they
first
continue.
before he can get in?" Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, thank you
It's
very
nice
much,
to
Dave.
be there. Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it today, mate. And I wish you nothing but success
Thank you
with
very
the
much, mate. And I hope this goes well for you as well. It's something a bit different, I think. Get
something different. Yeah,
people,
yeah.
see where it goes, innit?
Fingers crossed. We can but try, Dave.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
it, mate. That's all it is, isn't it?
exactly, mate. Right, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you.
Catch you soon.
Ta-ra.